Datsun 260Z. Body-wise, she's in pretty good shape. There is some issues on the driver's side, rockers and the front quarter panel down here. I'll take you over and take a look at that. This side, inner wheel well has some issues, and I expect them to get worse as I chip away the 2 or 3 layers of undercoating that is in here. This side, quarter panel rockers, dog legs are all good. This car has had the rear quarter reskinned on both sides. They did a pretty good job. I couldn't even tell until I noticed on the inside there was a couple Mager TIG weld marks on the inner fender, and then figured that out by that. So I'm going to pick up the camera and do a little quick walk around. I'm going to get the flashlight just so I can show you as well. So let me grab the light. Okay, so first things first is there is of course a hole right in there. You can see it. Not very pretty. And then if you go down there, that is not a happy area. You can see right in there, she is pretty much shot. So I will have to dig all that out, and I do have the I have some 12 gauge and 18 gauge because part of that is the frame. So if the frame itself is too far gone, I will have to replace. Let's take a look underneath of this poor mobile. And you can see she is pretty well gone. The frame rails on this side are shot all the way up, so I'll probably be cutting them up to here, all the way back, replacing all new floors. I'm looking at getting some frame rails from a company called Bad Dog Productions, I believe it is, and they build a beefier frame rail that actually goes all the way to the back and connects to the rear frame rail, just to give the vehicle extra strength. So I will be taking care of that. You can see over there the other side as well is just long gone. There's a lot of undercoating under here. I realized I'm going to have to get myself a needle scaler, an air needle scaler, because I do not want to scrape all this by hand. So going on to the inside, she's pretty good. Yes, we do have some rust starting in here. I'm gonna have to get rid of all of this. Hopefully I can just patch it, cut it out and patch it. The doors are in really good shape, if you can see right there. Like I said, the lower quarters, this is all metal. Magnets stick to that very well. And like I said, these rear quarters have been done. On the inside, move this out of the way and I'll show you guys the wheel well, which is always suspect. You can see right there, there's like punched a hole through the hammer. And over here as well is long gone. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the wheel well yet. I might just pull it right out and put a piece over, because the replacement wheel well is about 500 US. Normally all along here is all usually well rusted through. You can see there's just a bit of surface bubbling going on. So I will grind that off. Same as here, just a bit of surface. Going up. All this is good metal. All the hinges are not rusted through. They're still looking great. Everything looks great there. Again, this side quarter, like I said, oh, it was skinned, and the reason why I can tell, and I don't know if this will catch on camera, but I don't know, you can see the welding spots. 1, 2, 3. They spot weld the skin all the way along. Put it on. Like I said, they seem to have done a really good job, so I don't know how much I'm going to mess with that. My thought is to take off the clear coat on anywhere where the paint seems sound and it doesn't look like there's any rust. And then anywhere else I'll get it down even further if I know there's rust. Of course you have to go right down to metal anywhere near rust. And do a little Bondo if I need it for thin areas. But for the most part, I've got the sheet metal and I'm going to replace it. Again, up here you can see the corners on both sides. The other side actually has a bunch of Bondo. This one I'm not 100% sure yet, but there is rusting through. And as well on the pillars, we've got some rust there. I'm hoping that it's not too bad. If I have to cut and replace a piece, that's fine, but hopefully the structure is still there. As discussed earlier, hopefully you can see that. We got all this right here, so I'll probably, seems good here, it's just this back section, so I'll probably cut up and over and replace this whole bottom section. Same thing with over here. You can see that we've got through rust right there. So again, hopefully I can just cut a piece of this rocker out and replace that without having to do a whole rocker replacement. One big issue, which I will adjust the camera here. You can see that this lower frame rail is actually detaching from the body panel on the inside. I think that's an after, like a repair that someone did, and that's why it didn't adhere well, because they, from the looks of it, they just did a couple spot welds here and there on it. So I don't know if I'll tear the whole thing out. Again, once I attack this with the needle scaler and get all the undercoating off, I'll be able to have a good look and see what I'm working with and what will need to be cut out and replaced, because I do not want to be dealing with inches of Bondo, because you know you should really never do that. So the engine is a 2.6 liter. She does turn over by hand, and she does turn over with turning the key. She does not start. I have not tried because the fuel tank is full of 20-year-old fuel, and I would rather not pump that through the system, because you're just going to make things 10 times worse. On the inside, let me get my light. So looking pretty good overall. Everything, the plastics aren't cracked, so they can be refurbished. On the center console, I'm thinking for the steering wheel, maybe a leather wrap, because it is starting to corrode and really doesn't feel good on your hand. But I think a nice leather wrap and refinish all of the metal, and maybe find a different center cap for that. I've seen some nice smaller ones that have a bit of chrome. I was thinking about doing some chrome accents on the interior. The dash, of course, is cracked. You can see right there. And I've watched a few videos online on how to fix that. You know, the shade tree mechanic way. So with some great stuff foam and a couple products that are actually for interior repair. All the lights all the way around are perfect, so I'm going to be very meticulous taking those off. The door skins, I'll probably take the skin off, keep I'm not going to say cardboard, it's like a particle board that's on behind there. So I'll keep that and then do black. I want to do black all on the interior, all the way around, get rid of all the white. The seats will come out, I'll throw away the crappy leather. They have full kits, so it's all new foam, all new leather. You can get the embroidered Z on the headrest as well. So I'll probably go with that. My plan is to hit up a Nissan dealership and look over some colors. I want to go with a gunmetal gray. My Mazda is a gunmetal gray, which I really love. But I kind of want to keep it Nissan Datsun codes. So I'm going to go and just talk to them and see what they have for gunmetal gray codes, and I'll probably pick that up for the color. Most likely I will do fender flares. I was a little bit hesitant about cutting good metal on the car because it's very hard to find a body in this good shape, but ever since I seen that the doors or the quarter panels were skinned, I'm not as leery about doing that. So I do want to go with some fender flares and with some wide tires, a little bit lower, but not so low that, you know, you can't go over a dip. I don't want to hear any scraping or anything. That'll just drive me nuts. Engine wise, it is a numbers matching engine. So I'm debating on what I want to do with that. I would like more horsepower. These are only about 150 horsepower stock. It's a carved motor, so turboing it, I'm willing to give it a try, but I've never done anything like that before. I haven't done much of anything like this before. It's all new to me. So yeah, so gunmetal gray, a little bit lower, just a nice stance with some fender flares, nice wide tires. For rims, if I'm going to go wide, I of course aren't going to use these bad boys, although they are nice old school wheels. Probably something like Rotez or Watanabe. I don't know how I'm pronouncing that, if it's correctly. If not, shoot me. And then I would like to do, they do have a headlight cover, so I would like to go with a tinted headlight cover. And then anything that is chrome would be blacked out, except for maybe the Datsun symbol, the Z symbol in the back, which is part of the vent. I'll purchase new ones online because these ones are completely shot. I don't know if they can be refurbished. It's not something I've looked into yet. So other than that, let's crawl underneath and I can show you the horrors of Datsun, which is of course all of the crazy rust. So as you can see, that hole up here is of course the wheel well. So for the most part though, outside of that, this is the rear frame, which so far seems pretty solid. But like I said, I do want to get all that undercoating off to see what I'm working with. There is some issues on this side. Ooh, let me roll around. Where I'm seeing, I don't know if it's the undercoating up here, but I'm just wondering if they put the skin over the old metal, because if they did that, then what's eventually going to happen, of course, is it's just going to rust right through to the other side. So if that's the case, I might try to just cut out this inner layer, which you can kind of see. I don't know if you can see it if I'm too close. The camera's, there's two lips here. So I think one is the original, and then this one, which is also folded over and pinched right here, is the new outer skin. So if that's the case, I want to try to get this inner skin out, just because, like you can see, it's rusting away, and that rust will transfer to the other part and will start to rust through the other side, which is what I don't want. So it looks horrible. I don't think it's a, you know, it's a work in progress. It will be a lot of work, but I think the payoff will be a beautiful Z car. All of this stuff will come out because this is the 5 mile an hour bumper, which has the piston built in. So this is the bracket for all that. So that will come out. This is my lovely, what's left of my exhaust. Look at that. All of this will come off. Control arms, I've got some acid etch. I can clean those up. I even got myself a powder coater. So if I don't go out and buy any of these high performance suspension packages with all the adjustable links and everything, if I don't do that, I'll most likely refurbish these, powder coat them, bake them, and all new urethane bushings and everything. So that's the floor over there, like I said, long gone. But up, which I don't know if the camera's going to get it or not, but way up in there, it's all been undercoated. I'm pretty sure once I get all that undercoating off, it'll be okay, and I can just clean it up. I've got to drop the tank. I think the tank is no good. It would be nice if it was in good working order, but you never know. So, lost my hat. So that's pretty much it for the car. Big things are, of course, dealing with the, what they did under the skins. I want to clean that up, get as much rust off the vehicle as possible. Anything I have to leave behind, I will treat the rust with chemical converter. Floors will be done, those special frame rails from the Big Dog Company. And then this inner wheel well needs a lot of work. The battery tray, you can't see because the battery's in the way. Actually, you know what? You can see if I do this. Down on the inside, you can see right here, that's the battery tray. It's rusted through. Also over there against, looks like the firewall might have a bit of a hole, so I'll have to patch that as well. And of course, anything you see with rust, if any of you worked on cars, you know it's 10 times worse than what it looks like, and especially with all this undercoating they've sprayed. I swear there's 2 or 3 layers on it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of surprises. Anyway, so that's a quick walk around the car. I'll keep doing some videos as I work away. Maybe just put the camera down while I work and do a couple time lapses so you can see me curse and swear, and hopefully slowly see the car be converted into something awesome.